Okay, you're there at this pivotal moment. The almost guaranteed price objection. It happens all the time in every job, in every trade. And it happens in a lot of different ways. It can be direct, it can be indirect, but it happens just about every single time. If you're one of the few people who work in an environment and you have a relationship where you don't receive price objections, then hey, high five, fist bump. But for the rest of us, including me, that work in the world where people will object to our price, basically de facto, what do you do? Okay? If you watched my other videos at this point in time, you've already gone down through the pre-qualification phase. You've already gone to the job site. You've already walked them. You've already established your rapport and your credibility. You've already sold by saying no. You've already got them to agree to a bunch of different things, simple things in sequence, etc., etc., etc. Now you have taken all of these items that you guys have discussed, the things that they want, the 2 shower heads, the 36-inch tall niche with 4 shelves in it, the LED backlit mirror built into the wall, etc., etc., etc. And you put this into a professional, comprehensive, but not verbose, a comprehensive document that's not too wordy, and you've supplied your bid. The ball is now in their ballpark. What do they say? And they could say a lot of things. In my experience, I've had a couple of different returns. The most simple is you cost too much. The next could be something along the lines of, yeah, gee, it's just really out of our budget. Or, oh, wow, you know, I really like your work. I really like you, but I just wasn't expecting that kind of a number. Or could be a little bit more cunning, and they could be like, hey, you know, you did great with me. I really appreciate your time. Your bid looks great. This is a fantastic document. Hey, what's this line item for thin sets for adhesives and grouts? That just seems like too big of a number for me. Stop right there. Look, this lawyer doesn't have any idea what thin sets and grouts cost, okay? That is 100% a ploy. But it could happen. I've had it happen by a lawyer in Bainbridge in Washington. Said exactly that to me. I chuckled. Buddy, if you want me to reduce my thin set cost, then reduce how much tile I'm setting. And right there is the answer to this entire video. This is not about cost. This is about a power play. It's a cheap shot when they ask you, why is your price so high? What can you do about your price? They're trying to make you defensive, like coming at you and saying your hair looks like crap. It's the same concept. They want you to defend your hair. The moment you defend your job and the price, whether it be about whatever, it doesn't matter how you do it, the moment you defend, you're now on the chopping block. You're under the limelight with everyone looking at you to justify why you're there. You should have already built the reasons in for why you're there. In the other phases of this, now is not the time. Now is the time where you stick to your guns. What do I mean by stick to your guns? Do I mean you say, hey buddy, look, my price is my price. I mean, you can like it or not, but take it or leave it. I got other stuff to go do. Yeah, that could be your response, and I totally understand that. And maybe you're in a situation with work where you're comfortable enough that you can do that. That's up to you. That's not my preferred way. Another response that I've seen happen is get really emotional and say, oh, hey buddy, look, you have no right to sit there and ask me about my cost, okay? I don't need you, bye. That's definitely not the way that I would respond. The other most common way is to sit there and justify and explain. My cost is because I have X years experience, because the niche takes this period of time to build, because linear drains are more complicated, because a flush entry shower is more complicated. Those are all valuable and totally viable, legitimate reasons. It's the wrong time to talk about them. You should have talked about them already. Instead, here's what you do. They come at you and say, in whatever form they say it, you cost too much. Your number's too high. All you're going to do is acknowledge their stance. Under no circumstances do you agree with their stance. You do not agree with their stance, but you understand it. And you might say something along the lines of, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I totally understand where you're coming from. Look, it's a lot of money, and I'm in the same boat, and I want to make sure that I get the most ROI for my money when I spend it on things too. So I totally understand why this is so important for you to get the most for the money that you spend. Having said that, maybe we could look at some things to reduce costs. Okay, for instance, the niche. Maybe we could replace it with a floating shelf. It's a lot less money spent, it's a lot less labor, but you still have a place to put your shampoo bottles, etc. I know you said you really like that heated floor, but it wasn't a need. Maybe we could go ahead and just put down a non-heated porcelain floor, and that would definitely save a lot of material cost and labor. What do you think? And leave it open-ended. They might take the examples that you said and go with that. And if you did your job properly, you understand, you have enough information to be able to provide some examples that could be on the chopping block. That's it. They have to understand that your prices are set. Period. That's it. There's no discussion about it. If you want a lower price for this much work, then you need to want this much work to have the price come down. Not this much work and you just lower your price. Think about it, guys. You go to the grocery store and you're buying food and you don't have enough money for what you have on the plate, on the table, the conveyor belt. What do? If you're $20 short, you put back $20 worth of food. That's it. You don't sit there and start making demands or polite requests of the clerk to lower the price of the lettuce. You don't start saying, in my research and all of my expertise, the head of lettuce should only cost $3.19. You have here $4.27. What is this, a scam? Okay, you don't react that way. That's ridiculous, right? It's the same way in the service industry. They have no idea what they're talking about. So don't go to battle with them on price for services and products. Simply reduce how much you're doing the work, how much work you're doing. That way you can keep the contact, keep composure. Nobody's ego is attacked at all, theirs included. They're valid and justified in their stance to want to spend less money or to make sure that the money spent is spent well. You're not offended. You're also professional. You didn't waste all of the time that you've spent in this bid process with them, and you still potentially secure the job. That's it. That's all it's about. Put the responsibility back on them and do not defend your price. You should have already defended all of it already. That's it. On this list, where would you like to trim? What would you like me not to do? And say it respectfully. And it's totally okay. Totally okay. You're not reducing your square footage price, etc., etc., etc. Stick to it. Some people will go right into this mechanic and start saying, that's a good point. Yeah, we talked about maybe not doing the heat. Let's go ahead and get rid of the heat. A couple people might be surprised that you reacted this way. They're surprised because they have no idea how to fight you. Because their attack on your price was a cheap shot and they have no skill set behind it to negotiate or back it up. It was simply just a shot in the dark. And you didn't respond the way that they wanted to, so now they're surprised. It doesn't guarantee you'll get the job. But it does guarantee you that you don't become committed to doing the same workload of highly skilled work for less money. Because you know your numbers. You know your numbers, you stick to your numbers. And that's it. It's the only way to do business and be profitable and go have a weekend. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys have done. So I've certainly been in all kinds of these situations. I'm in them weekly, basically, in my own job. Let me know what you think and how it's played out for you. The more that we share, the more we talk about this, the more people will start to see that we have the upper hand in the trades, not the prospect, and that's very important. And go give Luke Miller over in Tile Money a follow and learn more about this stuff. It's very important business. I appreciate your time. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Take care.